Well, we learned that body fat is no longer benign. It's no longer inert. There's lots of stuff that body fat has. There's lots of things that body fat has in it that produces lots of chemicals, including adipokines, which are basically, these are like cytokines, except they're secreted by adipose tissue. Again, fat cells are not benign. There's a lot of stuff they do. And go to any mall, go to the movie theater, go to any ball game, and you will see that there's a lot of people in this country that have a lot of fat cells. And these fat cells, what are they doing? They're chopping productive years off their lives, pure and simple. My little return to exercise that I give the patients. And this is, by the way, for non-elites. When I say non-elite, I mean non-elite athletes, because the elite athletes is a whole different ballgame, right? We're dealing with I'm dealing with Chevys. We're not dealing with dealing with a Maserati is a completely different ballgame. But for non-elites, I found this is pretty good as far as to keep your people out of problems when they're now coming back to activity after they've been away for a while. I call it the first time is the fourth time. And basically what I say is, look, when you go back to the gym, right, it's rehab. It's not a workout. So you've been away for a while. You're going to go back there. You're going to go super easy. It's not a workout on the first day. And if you don't have the luxury of having a personal trainer, or you're in a clinic where there's supervision, etc., what I tell people is, okay, you're going to chop everything in half that first day back in the gym. Again, it's not a workout, it's rehab. The first time is going to be the fourth time, meaning the first workout is your fourth time in the gym. Again, I know what you're thinking. Don't put this in form don't think elite athlete. Think of accountant that sits all day, right? That we need to make it easy so they can digest. So you go back to the first time back in your activity, you chop it in half. Half the weight, half the reps, half the sets, half the time, half the distance, half the resistance, etc. Hey, this is really easy. Good. It's supposed to be easy. It's not a workout. It's rehab. If there are no problems during your doing half the weights and half the reps, instead of 100 pounds, 8 reps, 4 sets, you're doing 50 pounds, 4 reps, 2 sets, right? It's really easy. If there are any problems during, you're not ready to resume yet. You need to go back to your practitioner. You're not recovered yet. If there's no problems during and there's no problems following, meaning you're not excessively in pain the next day, then once you recover from that, when you return, you do 2/3 of what you had been doing previously. If there's no problems again during or following, then it's 80%. And what's interesting is a super, super light 50% day, a lot of times people, they'll actually be a little bit sore. And they would say, God, you know what, if I wouldn't have done that, they would have been in trouble, right? Because, it's like, lots of times when we had a break, we can come back and get ourselves in deep trouble. I think the best example of that would be when you guys do hyperextensions, right? The reverse, the hyperextension machine, right? When we do those, most of us could probably, if you haven't been doing them, I can put you on the machine and say, do as many as you want. You could do so many, you would get in trouble and not even know it until day 2, day 3, and day 4, right? And so, that's one of those things that gets you way more sore than you thought because you did way more. So it's the same process here.